Back to his consciousness. The rogue starts to recognize elements of his surroundings. He lays on a bed. Then quickly a chaotic scent of herbs and potions hits the rogue's senses. A sound of boiling water comes at least from few of the places. And something is being fried on the side, but there's no smell of food around here. The rogue tries to open his eyes, but every single part of his body feels so heavy. He cannot move a muscle, but during his efforts to do so, he hears another noise. A voice of an old man whose presence was masked with all of the sounds and sharp aroma.
One little cup, oh from so many. Which do I choose to acquire thy penny? Your hunger I cannot sate, but for the pain, is it too late? To get rid of this ache, one droplet shall I make. Enough for a common weight, but for you? And... Your hate? That's a bitter taste, much stronger than thy grace. Such familiar and unique blend. Are you awake? My dear friend?
The man's voice became more clear. He's now looking at the rogue, and he can feel it. A surge of malicious intent enters the rogue's mind and fills him with unnatural strength. Strange and violent dark red strings of magical energy burst into existence and chaotically whip around the rogue. There's someone with him in this room, yet he cannot see the danger. This man must die, the rogue thought to himself, as he opened his eyes and saw the man before him. While the rogue's body is still paralyzed, the magical energy lunges at the man and strikes him into the head, piercing it through. Blood gushes onto the wall and tables. The old man, shocked, bites his own teeth and screams in agony as his skin turns pitch black. He then starts to emanate an aura similar to the one of the rogue. The rogue recognizes what's happening as he feels the dread and terror from this energy which intimidate him. It's such an abstract feeling. He never felt any fear, no, that must be something else. But the rogue is sure of it. This fear that is trying to be inflicted on him comes from his own powers and presence. He doesn't know why this is happening, but this feeling is becoming stronger and stronger. He surrenders to the weakness and dismisses the magical energy, which also disappears from the man. The old man falls onto the ground and breathes heavily, as on his body blue runes appear and start to glow. His condition seems to worsen by each second, and the rogue can only watch the strange man dying before him. As his body is convulsing on the ground, he tries to reach the table behind him with one of his hands. He knocks down some potions, throwing and breaking them as he finally grabs a vial with strange grey liquid. He drinks it while still making noises of a dying beast, and as soon as the content of the vial is gone, the man slowly stops his spasms. Shortly after, he stands up, regains control of his breath, and there's no wound in his head.
So, you are awake. I hoped that in such state I could talk to you before you would try to kill me. I am a friend. Let's begin with that instead.
The man fully calms himself, and the blackness of his skin slowly dissipates, making him again look as an ordinary old man. The rogue can now stare at him closely. He looks very, very old. Wrinkly skin, grey hair on the sides of the head, and a big bald spot on top of it. He has a beard long to his chest, with most of it braided. His posture is bent down, but it seems to be a part of his act, for while he looks at least 80 years old, he's not a human, nor anything close to that. The rogue now knows. He's a true blood. But something still seems off. And this place, a small room with one bed, a fire pit, few doors, no windows at all, and many tables filled with notes and equipment of a herbalist. This man must be a healer, or potion maker of some kind.
You're eyeing me for some time now, without any words and other attempts to take my life. I reckon you know who I am.
What was that? How were you able to absorb my powers and to use them against me?
Ah, you see, I didn't do anything. It was all you. You were trying to stop yourself. But still, I must say, I haven't tasted such strong emotions since many, many years. I'm glad you're now back in control.
That doesn't answer my question. Who are you? You should be dead now.
I'm sure you have a lot of questions. My name is Desmond Ozin, and as I said, I am an ally of yours. A friend, more precisely. Whenever you need my help, you come to me. And when I need your help, I come to you. You have other friends like me, but this time it seems I am the one to be of assistance to you. To not be our accidental demise, you granted us a means of protection from your powers. Mine come more naturally, since I sate my hunger from emotions. And you, my friend, are a particular taste. Although it isn't so pleasant as you could see. I must stay on an adrenaline-free diet, and your powers overload me with all kinds of strong, distasteful bits. Ah, that's worse than death. My powers are my curse, but less about me. Now that we can talk without throwing punches, drink this.
The man comes closer to the rogue and helps him drink a tonic that was freshly brewed. The rogue instantly feels relief in his body, being able to move it again. He doesn't stand up, as he again feels the previous pain from the day he entered the city. What is happening to me? Why have I no memory of you? And you clearly know more about me than I do. What is this goddamn pain?
I can't tell you much, for I must abide your own rules. And I'm sure you're aware of that. All I can tell you is that there's a reason why I was the one to find you. Your time is coming to an end, but it seems you didn't accomplish your current purpose. Do you know what it is? What are the thoughts haunting your mind right now?
All I remember is hatred towards every living being I see. They all deserve death, and I am the one who brings it to them.
Ah, I see. I felt this ire of yours. Yet there are exceptions, aren't they?
The girl. Yes, they seem to be. Where is she?
No need to worry, she's resting now.
The man flicks his fingers and the wall behind him becomes translucent. An even smaller room is seen where on one of the beds lays a sleeping child. Then the wall becomes normal again, now clean of the blood.
From the looks of it, at least she has a better sleep than you did. Quite unusual for you to care so much about a living being. I can feel it. You don't want to kill, but you have to. You always had to.
And that's not for me to know why.
That is your inscrutable fate, which not even most gods know about. But I know why, and you do too. We have different perspectives on that, but you can't lie to yourself forever. Nonetheless, This hatred of yours, it doesn't seem to be towards me. Do you know why?
You are a true blood.
Good, but do you know why you hate others?
Lay it out, Ozin. I don't read minds. The man sighs, takes a slow walk around the room, and stands close to a fire pit where some twigs and leaves are being fried on a pan. He takes them, turns his back towards the rogue, and starts making a potion at one of the brewing stations.
You are after the murderers. More than a month ago, our situation in this country changed. I am talking about the True Bloods. We were being killed and hunted. Even now, there are people searching for us, and there will be more to come. I was a well-known persona in this city. It was my home. It is still. My desire was to help the common folks and give them what they want. Being loved by so many truly was a perfect life. Then it was taken from me in a single moment.
A sudden sound of a knife hitting a cutting board. The man stopped his work for a second and remained silent, as his neck presented to the rogue was again turning black.
I was able to stage my death, but if I stay in the city, the chance they'll find me becomes higher the longer I'm here. I admit, I hate being forced to move out of my loved home, but I will have to. For that, I would need your help, which happens to be something you came here for. You won't rest until you find the one responsible for this, right?
The more the man speaks, the rogue understands what he's after. His question remains: why? That doesn't concern him in the moment. Do you know who is?
Elion First Ground is his name, human king of this land.
As the rogue hears this name, he feels a great temptation to kill. With it, his pain becomes even stronger. The man turns himself to the rogue and smiles uncomfortably. His right arm, from the tips of his fingers, and the left half of his face become pitch black. He tries to compose himself, and when the rogue sees what's happening, all emotions disappear. Just like that. The same goes for all blackness on the man's skin.
Thank you. It will be better for both of us if you control yourself. I advise you to stay here for a bit longer. Your condition won't get better, but I can suppress it. To do so, I must make a special tonic. It requires time, since a normal dose won't be enough for your body. If you want to complete your mission and not pass out before reaching it, you should forswear this feeling of urgency.
The rogue is willing to accept the man's request, but he doesn't seem to enjoy the idea of his inevitable death. He wants to do much more after, but something keeps telling him that's how it should go. You seem like someone who's able to work wonders. If you can suppress my condition, can you get rid of it?
I'm afraid I cannot. Even if I could make such miracles, I am not supposed to. You already believed in your cause and needed no context for it. It must stay this way. But do not worry, that will not be the end of you. I have yet to see a power that would actually get rid of you.
The man is right. For some reason, doubt in the rogue's mind quickly disappears. As far as he remembers, there is nothing more important to him than his purpose. Whatever it might be, it seems to be of a higher importance. It now feels the same as when his powers were used against Ozin. The rogue has thoughts that are able to convince him to anything. those thoughts are not his, but have the impact as if they were. Just like he had a second mind, which knows much more, but cannot share any of it. He trusts it. He always did. May I know, why do you have this knowledge of me?
Because you trusted me. Same goes for the others. I always have a saying when I see you. Oblivion is your best ally. Embracing it, forgetting everything time and time again, yields the best outcome for you and everyone else. I had this talk with you many times. You always ask for the same, and I give you not fully satisfying answers. Your past is past, forgotten. Let us leave it at this.
Let it be so. You mentioned that I can help you exit the city by killing the king. How?
Oh? It's very simple. I cannot go until you do your part. I felt you will come. We, your friends, always have a good intuition about it. When you're done with this place, you'll need no more of my help, and so I will be able to say my final goodbye with the city.
So, if it is true, and I will die soon, tell me, how much time do I have?
I truly don't know, but I can assure you, with my guidance and potions, you'll be able to at least do your job. After that, we'll see where the fate will lead you.
The potions. Should I be aware of anything?
They will simply allow you to move freely without the pain. They can negate all the effects of your withering life, but they can't reach the source. For it is divine.
Can they do anything else to me?
If you're asking for any potential side effects, do not worry. These are my strongest potions. They would kill a common traveler, for he couldn't handle them. I believe they would even kill a dragon, but not you.
A dragon?
Well, maybe that's too far. I can sense a subtle sadness in you. What's the matter?
As he says this, his body again starts to slowly turn black. But this time, he doesn't react to it at all. The child.
Ah, the child. Do not worry about her. Do as much as you can while you're still here. After that, I can take care of her. Honestly, I always wanted to be a good uncle.
Suddenly, a door leading to the room where the child was sleeping opens. Not so soundlessly, Human peeps out of this room. Both men look at her instantly, as she sees a demonic-looking man covered in pitch-black skin and magical runes. She screams and runs back into the room she came from, pushing the door close. A chill ran through the man as he felt a sudden change of the atmosphere.
Well, speak of the little devil. Not the best of my first impressions, I must say. Let me have this. In the meantime, take a walk outside.
The man takes a freshly brewed potion, leaves it on a small table close to the rogue's bed, then points at a standing mirror in the corner and goes to the second room. The rogue stares at the potion for a second, then takes it and drinks it. The pain he felt slowly disappears. It is still present, but in matter of few seconds, it becomes much weaker. The rogue can now move normally, without feeling so fragile. He's still not used to this feeling. The potion weirdly mixes itself with the pain, and it will require more time for the rogue to get used to it. At the same time, this feeling is a little familiar. The rogue comes to the mirror and is able to determine its magic. When he touches it, reality seems to blend, leaving him within a spaceless position, surrounded by the endless darkness. He isn't really shocked by this. He can see many vague views in this void, and one catches his attention. A road in the capital city. He approaches it and then seamlessly steps onto the streets of Skybridge. It's daytime. The rogue looks around, many people are present, but not a single one noticed his sudden appearance. Behind him, he sees a tear in reality, a subtle shift in the air from where he came from. As he focuses on it, he can see a transparent layer of reality, the void he was just in. He knows how to get back, and so he decides to stay outside for now, walk out and get used to the strange feeling of his. In the meantime, where the old man resides.
Where the darkness lies and scares, there's an ever-watching creature. Is it real? Is it there? Will it come out to try and reach her? Darkness, full of beauty and dangers. Don't avoid but wonder, what could it have been? To live in fear is to live alone, to remain broken and blind to the unseen.
Human sits between two beds, sobbing and hiding from the monster she saw. As soon as it opened the door, it looks straight at her, slowly coming closer, speaking words in a weird manner. She's frightened. She knows the monster is looking at her, but she still tries to hide from it, slowly sliding onto the ground. The room is dim lit. She cannot fully see the creature before her, but she can see its pitch black skin. Now it fully became like this.
Ah, so bitter taste. I see, these words made everything worse. I am sorry. That was one of my favorite quotes from a fable I loved to read as a child. Come on, don't be scared of me. I might look different, but I won't hurt you.
Human closed her eyes, but now doesn't hear the monster moving. She slowly opens her eyes and leans out from behind the beds. The monster is standing in the middle of the room, with its arms open. As soon as it sees her, it lowers its hands. Human still looks at it, but is shaken, ready to go under the bed at any moment where the safety awaits.
The fables you heard might differ from the ones I know. Yours tend to spread lies and create superstitions. But the world is so much more than what is told. Monsters, for example. You now see me as one of them. I might be one, or not. What is there to tell? More often than not, the worst monsters are within humans themselves.
Human makes a short gasp, as the candles in the room become much brighter and lighten the face of the monster. She sees a humanoid face, with bright blue eyes, cut, pointy ears, and two lower fangs coming out of the closed mouth. She screamed in fear and quickly went under the bed, covering her ears and closing her eyes. She then hears muffled steps coming closer to her, but then they disappear. She opens her eyes yet again, this time to see nothing. As she's wondering about going out of her hideout, a teddy bear shows itself in front of her. Hanging from a frame of the bed, only one of his arms are not seen. As the human slowly reaches towards the plushie, it is lowered to her. Pitch black fingers appear to be holding it, with long claw-like nails. Human holds back for a moment, but then nothing else happens. She slowly becomes less scared, and the hand before her turns itself into a normal human hand. Now, she's more weirded out than frightened. She decides to snatch the toy out of the hand and held it close to her body. Then a face is lowered from behind the frame. Human doesn't see a monster, but an old, friendly-looking man.
Oh, there you are. How do you like the teddy bear? I made it myself. His name is Gimli, and he's very cuddly. He also likes his nose to be booped.
The man touched Gimli's nose and Human started laughing. Then the man smiled back at her.
Now that's better. Your face looks much prettier with a smile on it. Ah, and it also feels good for me. Hello, you can call me Uncle Ozin. Would you like to sit up here with me? It hurts my back to have my head so low.
The man's head went up, but his legs were lowered onto the ground. Human at first was a bit uncertain, but then stood up from underneath the bed and sat on it, beside the man who was now holding a book in his hands. It surely caught her attention.
It's been a long time since I opened this book. Want to hear what's inside?
Human nodded her head, then tried to read the title and author on the cover of this book. She can't read that well, but it seems to be written in common language.
This book is called See What Is Unseen. It was written by a friend of mine. He was a human just like you. He knew a lot about this world, and while he could, he spent all of his time learning about all kinds of mysteries. Lay down while we wait for the mister to come back. In the meantime, I'm gonna read you this fun story, alright?
Human again nods to Uncle Ozin, lays her head back on a big pillow and looks at the uncle, very captivated.
Where the darkness lies and scares, there's an ever-watching creature. Is it real? Is it there? Will it come out to try and reach her? Darkness full of beauty and dangers. Don't avoid but wonder, what could it have been? To live in fear is to live alone. To remain broken